We've talked about what the internet is, where the internet is, how my files are stored on the internet. Now let's talk about how my phone, my laptop, my front-end application actually knows which of the servers to connect to in the internet, like which of the massive amount of servers, AWS, Google, Microsoft, how does it know which one to connect to? And it all boils down to something called the DNS, the DNS system, the domain name system, right? So every system on the internet, every system on the public internet has an IP address attached to it. Think of it like your home address, except you are living in a very remote area, which is absolutely not bad. Your house likely has an IP address, has an home address attached to it. So when you order food from that your favorite online food delivery application, let's say eFood, for example, the riders can determine your house and come to deliver your food because of your house has an home address. Similarly, every computer or every system on the public internet has an IP address attached to it. Now, usually the IP address attached to your computer or your phone is private, which means that no one can visit it except you make it public or except you buy a public IP from your network, your telecommunication provider, MTN, Airtel, Glo, whoever you use. But then for these servers have public IP addresses attached to them. So, for example, Google's domains are mapped from, say, 8.8.8.8 to some other IP addresses. So every system, every computer on the public internet has an IP address attached to it. Now, as humans, we don't like to deal with numbers, right? So you don't want me to go to your house, for example, and when you're directing your house, you're telling me to go to 127.0.0.1. That's a very bad experience. Rather, you told me to go to maybe number 2, Akindele Street, Ikeja, Ikorodu, Lagos, instead, because of the words are a lot more user friendly. So this is the same thing for website or web applications. You don't want to have to type in the IP addresses in your search browser or instead of your domain names in applications. Instead, you put in the domain names. So instead of putting in say 127.0.0.1, you are putting in maybe demi.ng. Now, this is not the actual IP address mapping. This is just for explanation purposes. So what really goes on behind the scene is when I go to demi.ng, for example, your browser makes a request to a DNS, a database, a record set of IP addresses and domain names. And ask, oh, what is the IP address attached? What is the home location? What's the IP address attached to this particular domain name? And that DNS says, oh, for say demi.ng that you are trying to visit or google.com that you are trying to visit, this is the IP address. Then your browser name makes a request to that IP address. Note, that IP address is unique to a system or to a network or to a computer on the public internet. Then it now makes a request to the computer. It could be my laptop, for example. If my laptop is open to the public internet and it tells the laptop, oh, I need this file. And the laptop says, oh, there is this index.html file that should be saved whenever this goes to demi.ng. Right, then it saves it. So basically, there's a much more comprehensive module on DNS where I talk about the different record type. But just at the back of your mind, just know that the whole internet works on a domain name system, from emails to site visiting to backend to APIs to webhooks. Everything is all dependent on a domain name system that makes it easy for your phone to detect the servers or the backend or the applications that it's going to be dealing with on the other end.